Hey, everybody, and welcome to a News Happy Hour special report. We're going to be talking today about the fact that the entire western edge of our country is burning. What is
And
going
it's,
on is crazy. I
have you
think at this
seen some
point,
of these
there's,
pictures
oh my God,
or videos?
uh-huh, people running from their houses, running
Oh,
down the street with, I mean, the flames practically licking at their heels. It's crazy.
I, I mean, obviously, I feel terrible for anybody caught in that. I don't know what that's like, but I do wonder why is it so hard to control? And I don't mean that in a critical way. I'm really curious. Why is it so difficult to stop this thing from wreaking so much havoc?
Well, there is a theory about that. And actually, a friend of mine from California is going to be joining us in a little while, and we'll see if he can add to this at all. But it was kind of like a perfect storm of events. You have extreme dryness, right? And you got all this stuff drying out. If something catches, it's the wind that is the biggest problem. And the Santa Ana winds aren't usually that strong, over 100 miles an hour.
What?
Yeah, they're like hurricane force winds blowing that fire. And so, of course, if it's going to be fueled by that, it's going to spread like crazy. And so that's what it's done. And so, everybody wants to help. We want to help.
Yeah.
And we want to tell you how to safely help. Because if there's one thing that a disaster brings out, and yes, it's togetherness and sense of community as people come together and help each other, it's that there's assholes out there that want to rip you off. Whether you're the victim or somebody that lives across the country that wants to donate. And it's
Oh.
shameful. Shameful.
What has to happen to you in your life where you think,
Yeah.
ooh, I know what I'll do. I'll steal money from
Yeah.
victims or people that want to help them.
That's right. That's
I
right.
I don't get that.
It's crazy. But now if you wanted to help, what do you do? How do you make sure? Go directly to the charity that you want to donate to. Don't donate to Bill's fund that he says is going to go all of it to the, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
Hmm.
Do you go through the official channels of donation? Most of them are online. What is that one? World Kitchen. They only accept
Oh yeah.
donations through their website. Now, NBC, God, I got a frog. NBC vetted a whole list of charities that you can donate to safely. That is going to be in the description of this video.
Perfect.
So the links will be there so you can safely donate to all kinds of organizations. I mean, California Community Foundation, the LA Fire Department Foundation. Have your money go directly to them. Skip the middleman.
Yeah.
Pasadena Humane Society, if you want to help the puppies. The American Red Cross of Greater Los Angeles. Donate to that one
Yes. Yes.
instead of the umbrella Red Cross.
And most of these organizations will have a .org or
Absolutely.
something at the end of it, right? Uh,
Yep.
and I've told people during other catastrophes, just like you said, go to NBC. I've told people, hey, your local news desk or newspaper or
Yes.
whatever, call them and ask them if they have call them, ask
Yeah.
if they have a list or if they can provide something because nobody does their due diligence like a news
Oh,
station.
absolutely. That's like their job. So
Hmm.
it being the news and all.
And I have also said maybe if you know somebody, if you want to help and you know somebody out there,
Yeah.
you don't just have to give money to a general fund. You can say,
No,
"Do you need anything?"
that's right. If you can make one-on-one contact with a family and help them directly, that would be amazing.
Right.
That would be amazing. I'm not sure how you would do that, but
Well, if you
I mean,
know somebody,
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Get on Facebook
like
and
if
see if
I
you can
know that
find
I want
somebody.
to help maybe one of my old students who now lives
Right.
in LA, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
call him up, let's say his name is, Dave. I know that if I send money directly to Dave, Dave's not going to go sending it to the Prince of
Yeah, exactly.
Gozbekistan, you
Exactly.
know?
You know, another thing none of those organizations are going to do? call you and ask for a donation. So they're not going to do that.
Not
They
like
don't have
those
time to do that.
motorcycle.
Well, you know what people are doing over there right now, actually looting, right? There's looting going on, stuff like that.
Oh,
Some people are impersonating firemen and going
what?
in and stealing stuff out of people's homes. They arrested somebody this week and they recovered somebody's Emmy. We haven't figured
Oh,
out whose it was yet.
wait, their names don't go on the bottom of those?
Well, it's not in the news yet. The news has not
Oh,
broken whose it is.
okay.
And like
Okay.
$200,000 worth of stuff that these people had stolen from the house, from people's houses.
There's a special place in hell and in jail for
Yeah,
people who will, I don't want to say capitalize, will take advantage.
completely,
Ah,
completely. Pretending to offer help and completely robbing victims and, you know, good-hearted people.
can
It's
you
ridiculous.
imagine? There you are, your house is on fire, or something terrible is happening to you and your family. Here comes a guy in the helmet and the coat, and he's
Yeah.
like, "How can I help? What do you need?" And then that guy robs you.
I think
Ah,
it was the beginning of a CSI episode,
no.
but I think
Are you
got raped
serious?
instead. Yeah, I'm totally serious. It's probably where they friggin' learned it. But I've seen that in a couple different your crime shows, you know? I mean, there's three major kinds of scams that happen after a disaster. One is phony representatives, which we've kind of just talked about because they're not going to call you. You know, they're out trying to help people. So they count on you to go to the website and make that donation. You know, shady contractors. See, those will be coming up next after the fires are put out and people start trying to rebuild their homes. They'll be those will come out of the woodwork and start to prey on people that way. And then bogus charities, charities that aren't even real, you know, Aunt May's Fire Fund or whatever. They'll give it a fancy name. They might even have a fancy page. But if it's not, you know, one of the main organizations that, like we said, you get through your news desk, I would not, that you're just throwing your money away,
Right.
giving it to a thief.
You've got to do, if you really care about the victims as much as you say, right,
Yeah,
then do a little extra homework and make sure that that money is going to them.
exactly.
And that's as simple as double checking, because having a website isn't
Mhm.
enough.
No, it
Scams will
isn't.
have
I
websites.
mean, well, and make sure everything is spelled right. You know what
Oh,
I mean? Because,
yes. Jeez.
you know, they'll spell fire F-I-E-R or something. I mean, a lot of times if you know it, it's so obvious. But a lot of people, you know, you kind of tell your brain what you expect to see, sometimes not what you really see.
I
So you
wonder
just
if
have to
there's
be
a
careful.
hotline. Is there a hotline to
Oh,
call?
I did not run across a hotline, but if anybody does know of one that's watching this and you want to leave that as a comment, that would be much appreciated. That would be good.
Yeah.
But right now, we are going to go across the country. We have a lot of friends, Gary and I do, in California, and we're going to check in on one of them right now.
Hi, Jonathan.
Thanks
Okay.
for being here,
Yep.
man. God, he's
Thank
so cool. Look at this guy. Steph, you know the coolest fucking people, Stephanie.
Everybody, welcome to the show, the one, the only, T-flo. He is our West Coast correspondent today here on News Happy Hour. And dude, we've been talking about different ways people can help fire victims, ways they don't so they don't get scammed and all that kind of stuff. How are you out there? I mean, how close
we're
are you?
fine today. I'm far. I moved from LA about 10 years ago. I
Oh,
used to
that's
live in
good.
Pasadena, so I'm familiar with everything that burned down there, which is a real bummer.
Oh,
Um, but now I live in San Diego. But today we are under a red flag warning, and so it's not. I live kind of in a weird area where we don't get the wind that everyone else gets all the time. I get a
okay.
constant ocean breeze coming up the hill, but
Nice.
I was just telling I have an apartment above my garage that I rent out, and the gentleman that lives there, we were talking about it, and I was like, maybe we need to think about what we're going to do if a fire ever comes this way, because
Yeah.
now that I've seen that it doesn't need a hillside with brush or a forest with trees, and it
Right.
could burn through a neighborhood like that, I'm worried. You know, I mean, that
Is
scares me
this
like
like,
that
is this the worst that it's ever been? I believe it
ever.
is the worst, right?
Ever. I don't think I've never seen anything like this here before. And usually when you see them, they're in a forest, you know,
Right.
they're on a hillside. This went through neighborhoods, and the only thing left standing were the trees, you
The
know,
wind got crazy, didn't it? Like 100 mile
really
an hour
crazy.
winds.
Yeah, yeah. If you saw some of the footage, it was bananas how just those embers, you couldn't even see through the wall of embers. That's how bad it was. It was,
That is
yeah.
insane.
And everybody in California is going to know someone that was affected, that lost a house, lost, you know, I mean, my sister already knows 5 or 6 people that lost their
Oh, wow.
houses, you know, and even like I said, the McDonald's burned down, like this art studio that my sister hang art at in past Altadena burned down. So I'm afraid to go there and see it because I'm sure it's pretty depressing.
So many memories
Yeah,
burned up.
Was
but
there any sort of evacuation notice, or did they say
they
get out while you can?
well, I think it started and hit so fast in some of those areas that people. Was it over the weekend or was it like last week? Last week, yeah. If they weren't home, they were away at work. They didn't let them back in.
Oh,
So,
shit.
so everyone was most upset about their pets being left in their homes
Oh, I'd lose my mind.
to die. Yeah, you know. I don't know if you've seen, but there's one gentleman in Palisades where he's calling from a fence, and the dog runs down the driveway, and he picks him up and starts screaming in
Oh,
victory. Well,
yes.
yeah,
I did see
that
that
was amazing.
video.
You know what I mean? But that's in reality, a lot of people probably didn't have that same luck. You
Yeah.
know, and if you look at every single one of those houses, everyone has a pet.
Yeah.
Everyone has a pet. You can't
Yeah.
imagine how many pets died in that. You know, the
Oh,
horses,
God.
Oh
I
all that
never
stuff.
thought about
So
that.
you're telling
Yeah,
me somebody leaves their home in the morning, bye Fluffy, see you when I get home, right?
absolutely.
And they're at work and they see, oh my God, the fires, I'm going home. And then they're stopped before they get to their neighborhood. You may not go back to your home. It's not safe.
Oh,
Right.
my
My
Yep.
dog's in
God.
there.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
what if you say, okay, well, then my dog and my daughter are in there.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what. I mean, I know there was a lot of frustration. People were breaking through the lines to go to their houses, and they couldn't stop them on every single street because
Wow.
all in Altadena, all the roads go straight up to the mountain, and there's Chris. It's an easy. It's a I don't know a graph basically, and so they were able to block almost every intersection, but people were riding their motorcycles through people's yards and backyards to
Oh,
get through
wow.
there and get up there. You know.
I
And
don't
some people,
know. I don't know if I would be stopped. I think I would. I mean, Steph,
yeah,
I
you
think I
couldn't
would
Oh,
stop
man.
go.
me. You couldn't stop me.
Yeah.
I'd be
No,
up there,
no.
And then
I'll
there's people that
report to
stayed
jail
behind as
afterwards.
well. Yeah,
What's that?
What?
there's people that stayed behind as well and fought
Oh,
fires and were able to save like their house and maybe their neighbors, but the rest of the whole neighborhood burned down.
Oh,
wow. And that crazy red check stuff that they're dumping all over the place. Is that it? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that can't be good for nature, but I guess they got to put that fire out some
the
way, right?
the
It's
red
supposed to be
fox
like some
stuff.
salts and
Yeah,
fertilizers or something like that.
right, right. It's a big red. It's like they're dumping red sand everywhere, but it doesn't go away after it's put out. That's what I understand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it looks bright pink.
Yeah, it's amazing. Those guys are amazing. I don't know if you saw any of the footage of them,
I
the
have.
way that they came in sideways and dropped that water down the hill because they
Wow.
needed to face the wind when they were
Right.
dropping down that way. So they faced the wind and dropped down into the fire and dropped. It was amazing. But it's still
Crazy.
going. And today I believe that there's a lot more wind today. So I'm sure.
They
And there
did
was a
forecast that.
yeah, and there's a new fire that broke out somewhere else this morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
It's getting crazy.
you're in San Diego,
Yes.
right? So it's been a while since I've been in LA. At night, can you see in the distance the hills burning?
No, no, not at all, not at all. I mean, that it's
Mm.
the way California shaped. I'm on the bend down here, so you can't see it. And I'm sure that everyone's saying get ready for the smoke, but I don't. The wind is blowing this way, the fires are that way, so I don't think we're going to get any smoke at all from it. But I heard yesterday that there was a fire in Tijuana. That's got to be that bad news for them. Hopefully, they are able to put that out because
Oh my
that's a
God.
hillside of houses made of cardboard boxes and stuff like
Oh
that. You know what I
man.
mean?
Right before the winds
So
hit later.
yeah, but I haven't heard anything. I wasn't able to watch the news this morning, but And like I said, this is after seeing what happened in Palisades. I'm worried about my house. Like I was just. Are we allowed to cuss?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I was just bitching about my house insurance going up $250, and I instead of looking for a lower, I just paid it, got it over with for the year, and then 3 days later those fires started, and I was like, $250 is nothing. If my
Yeah,
house burns down, they're gonna
correct.
replace it. You know what I mean?
And what can
So
you do with your house to get ready for something like that? Like we have to, every year, Floridians go through the whole hurricane prep, process and all that kind of stuff. But I can't even imagine how you would get your house ready for
Well,
a
I think one
fire
of the main
coming.
things is cutting the brush around your house, so have the dry
Okay.
brush, so there's nowhere for it to, come up to your house. I've got palm trees, and when you see fires, the palm trees are always on fire. I've got I've got 17 giant mature palm trees here, so I'm worried. And like I said, after seeing the footage, you don't need a forest. You don't need brush.
Right. Right.
It'll burn through a stucco house just as quick as anything else. So
Wow.
I'm worried, but I'm worried now. So I'm telling the guy from my apartment, above my apartment, that we need to maybe walk around the yard and look at something that would ignite very fast.
Right.
Constantly, our wind blows away from the ocean, but at certain times of the year, it turns around and goes back this way.
Right. The wind
So
is the huge problem. That's
yeah,
what's pushing it
it's
around so
it's
fast.
the wind, absolutely, and maybe the people who are setting them. We've got
What
some.
the hell with that?
Wait,
I
what?
don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. They're thinking that a few of these were set by a couple people.
That's insane.
Insane. Why would someone do that?
I'm picturing an old movie where the citizens come and they get the guy out of jail and they take him and they hang him.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
big,
And
you
you kind of
know,
let him at that point, right?
you see, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hold the door closed, and just let him in
Right.
because that's just horrible. I can't imagine.
I mean,
I
if,
just
if
can't.
I think another way, one of the gentlemen saved his house. Those sprinklers that go back and forth like this. Um,
Okay.
he set it on his roof and left, and his was
Wow.
the only house that didn't. But I would understand, and then the understanding when there's a fire, you want to have all your water off so they have all the pressure.
Right.
But people were fighting the fires from their front yard and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not sure what the problem was. They're blaming everybody each other right now. It's a big blame game about some of the
Yeah.
hydrants not having water in them, which
Yeah.
I, I
I've heard some stuff like that.
yeah, I
The
mean, I
hydrants
thought it was
don't have water in them.
yeah, they were going to some of the hydrants, turning them on, and they were completely dry.
Oh
No
my
water
God.
coming out. So they've got water trucks lined up, coming back and forth, and the fire department is pulling water from the water trucks into their tanks, driving up the hill, spraying it all, then coming back down and
Oh
getting more
my
water.
God.
But they're
That was
also all the pools. They've got these pumps, and they're pumping all the water from the pools out, and the
okay.
planes are now picking up from the ocean as well, picking up water from
Oh,
ocean to ocean.
wow.
Yeah. So
We were wondering that, why they don't get it from the ocean.
yeah, they're doing that.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
And we
So
heard they arrested somebody for impersonating a fireman and getting into houses and robbing houses.
well,
Somebody's Emmy was recovered and about $200,000 worth of crap.
he meant not
So scary.
getting your house burned down, then coming to a robbed house. That's the worst.
I mean,
Who does
Robbed by
that?
a fireman, no less. Well,
Yeah,
a fake
right.
fireman.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fake fireman.
yeah. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of scams and things going on.
Yep.
People showing up at houses. That always follows,
Yeah, it
a
does.
tragedy like this.
It sure, I know it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm blessed. I'm in an area where we weren't affected, not even close. Everyone's watching with a
Good.
black jaw here, though. We're just
Yeah.
blown away. I mean, there's 18, how many? 18,000 homes that burned down, or 18,000 structures.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those people are going to be moving this way, moving all over California, because no one
Yeah.
wants, the people that are here don't usually want to leave. So I'm imagining all the rent in this area is all going to go up again. Not that we're like one of the most expensive places for rent as it is.
Right.
I see people gouging. I see people going up just because people are going to need places to live.
Well, what are people doing like today, right now? What's the vibe like on the street, in the grocery store? Are people freaking out in
Um,
your area?
the water. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like I said, we're in a little corner where we're not being affected, so we're just watching with an
Thank
open
God.
mouth. You know what I mean? Just to watch, just to see that. Like I said, I lived in Pasadena for 10 years. So like I said, I know the McDonald's that burned down. I know all of that. It wasn't just a really nice neighborhood. It moved into lower income neighborhoods and burned those houses down as well.
Wow.
So everyone was
And
affected.
fire didn't care. Fire
Yeah,
doesn't care if
no,
you put an
no,
Emmy
no.
or
Right.
whatever. Doesn't
And
care.
it's on what's on fire right now is part of a mountain line that goes another 40 miles, 30 miles, maybe all the way to San Bernardino. So if it keeps going, it'll burn that whole mountainside. And like I said, there's the other side of it too, in the
Yeah.
national forest.
Oh my
So
God.
everyone's just watching and hoping the winds calm down and trying to do everything they can.
Well, I hope it goes. I hope it all ends soon. My God, it just seems like it's never going to end. Once
Right.
one is, you know what I mean? They keep popping up. Well, you stay, stay safe. Squeeze your dog for us. And
Yeah,
thank you so much for being here today.
you're welcome.
All right, man. Have
And
a
I
great
like that
day. Thank
idea.
you again.
Put those
Oh,
sprinklers on the roof. That's a good
Yeah,
yeah,
idea.
there we
that's probably the
go.
best thing you can do. Turn your sprinkler system on and put one on the roof and go.
And it also shows you just bring your dog to work every day. Don't leave your dog alone at
Yeah.
home. Just take him with you
Right,
just in case.
right.
That's a good plan for me.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a good day.
You too, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Right, T-flo. Steph, for real, you know the coolest people.
I'm
You
not even,
know,
I hadn't heard anything about the animals like that. Holy crap. That's huge.
I mean, I would break through, and then if they're like, well, you have to go, it's like, all right, I'll turn myself in
Yeah,
after I go get my dog or my
that is
like,
insane. I can't, I would lose my mind if they said, no, I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't go up there.
tase me, tase me.
Tase me.
You know what? But if I can get back up,
Yeah,
then I
I'm
get that
going.
pass.
I'm going.
Like, how do you? I understand why they're saying that. I do understand that.
I do
But I
too.
also, I feel like they
It's
don't
my
have
risk,
the right. Exactly. Now, I
you know?
understand that argument too. The argument is, yeah, it's your risk until you go there to save your pet and you get stuck and you call for first responders and they
Yeah,
can't get to you. Well, I understand the risk involved in that. I'm not
exactly.
calling 911 if I
Exactly.
get stuck,
Yeah,
but I'm going.
I'm
Just
going.
just as I would if it was my mother or my child or what I mean, your pets are your family.
Oh, yeah,
I, they couldn't stop
absolutely.
me. Or they'd have to like incapacitate. I'd have to be knocked out or dead.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm getting there.
Yeah. If I can, they'll just find me, running up the hill with a dog leash, but I'm
Yeah.
going.
What would happen? What happened? I wonder if like, okay, the parents go off to work. Maybe the kid does like virtual school from home, or maybe there's a mother-in-law at home or something. Um, d are they like, well, you can't go back and get them?
I think if it's people, they got to let you in.
Do they have to let you in, or do they just say, well, what's your address? We'll go check. It's like I'm not. I mean, I
Well,
love you, but I'm not trusting
probably that
you to save
they'll
my.
you tell us we'll go.
No,
I would
I'm
think.
I'm going. You can go too. Please come with
Well,
me, but I'm
yes, why don't
going.
we go? That's a better
Right,
solution, right?
right. Oh my God, Steph.
It's not going to get better yet.
I
And
heard
it's
the
not going to,
hum.
after the fire is gone, all the need is still going to be there. So, guys, just a reminder about the list of charities that is below. Please let us know if there are any that we can add. It's just really important to do whatever you can to help this situation. That's why we're doing this show, because this is what we can do. So, let us know if there's another way we can help out. And
Yeah.
keep California in your prayers, everybody.
If you can't contribute money, then figure out or search for ways or comment in the comment section ideas you have of how you can help. Maybe you can offer, I don't know, what do you do? If you're maybe you're an insurance broker and you can offer a service to these people online, or maybe you have hotel points or airfare miles that you can transfer or something.
Right.
There's a way to help if you're looking for a way to help. It's not all
That's
about the
right.
money, right?
And helping the first responders is just as important
There
as
you go.
helping the people that are the victims of this whole thing. Because those firemen have not had, they're awake for days on end fighting that fire. I can't
Yeah.
even imagine.
Yeah.
Can't even imagine. So everybody, please take advantage of that list. Like we said, let us know if there's anything we can add to it. Um, so we'll see you on Friday.